These are the top 5 high-yield savings accounts of Q1 2024. Hi, if you're new around here, my name's John of John's Finance Tips. This is a channel we dedicate to talking all things money, and today we're talking about free money by the way of just opening a savings account. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, we have the high-yield savings account from Ally Bank. Opening requirements. None. Nada. No minimum required to open. Benefits and features. This card has no monthly maintenance fees, and there's no account minimums that you acquire either daily or monthly. The account also offers a couple cool features, one of which is known as savings buckets. So with savings buckets, what you're able to do is allocate certain amount to, say, a wedding or to a car or to a house down payment, and it's a subgrouping within the main account. So if you have $10,000 in the account, you can have different buckets so that you can very easily separate out what you're saving for. The account offers another feature known as roundups. So if you have a checking account linked with this Ally savings account, every single time that you use your debit card, it will round up to the nearest whole dollar, and once you get to $5, they're gonna transfer that over to your savings account. And the third feature is the ability to set up recurring transfers. So let's say money hits a checking account, you can automatically set it up to pull directly into one of your savings buckets. Interest rate. Currently, the Ally Bank high yield savings account comes in at a whopping 4.35% interest. My comments and recommendations. I personally have had an Ally Bank account since my college days, which would have been 2015 or 2016. Personally, I love them. They are my main checking account, and now I have a high yield savings account with them as well. However, they're not gonna have the highest interest rate compared to the remainder of the 4 banks we'll talk about today. Nonetheless, there's still a solid all-around option. Coming in at number 4, we have a Marcus high yield savings account by Goldman Sachs. The opening requirements. None. Exact same as Ally, nothing required to open the account. Features and benefits. A little bit more sparse, but the one that I want to call out is the ability to have same-day transfers for up to $100,000, which is crazy because right now when I transfer money from my Ally account or any of my checking accounts, it typically takes 1 to 2 days, which can be frustrating. Say you wanted to move money out to a brokerage account or a checking account or wherever, you gotta sit and wait a couple of days. With Marcus account, it's same day to and from linked banks. Another feature benefit people typically like to point out about this account is that it is backed by Goldman Sachs. Interest rate. As of the filming of this video, is 4.5%. My comments and recommendations, first of all, they've got a slick app. I would say across most of the competitors you'll see on this list, they probably have the best app. So if you're a mobile banking type of person, this might be something for you. And coming in at 4.5% interest, that is phenomenal, backed by, again, the Goldman Sachs name. And speaking of back, now would be a good time to mention all the accounts that I have talked about and will talk about are all FDIC insured. That means, God forbid, knock on wood, we don't see another SVB or First Republic situation, but if we do, your deposits are insured up to the $250,000 limit that the FDIC provides. Coming in number 3, we have a high yield savings account from Sofi. Well, technically, it's a savings and checking account, and I think this is the most interesting account on the entire list. Even though it's not the highest, I think it makes the most sense for the most people. You'll see why in just a second. So as far as opening requirements, the first thing to note is that it is a savings and a checking account. So you're gonna have to get both accounts, which isn't entirely a bad thing. The reason being, when you open the checking account with Sofi, you actually are eligible to get a bonus of up to $300. The only requirement is you set up direct deposit and you direct deposit over $5,000 within the first 30 days. And if it's under $5,000, you'll only get $50. I strongly recommend you direct deposit the $5,000 because not only will you get the $300 sign-up bonus, you're also then gonna be eligible for the highest interest rate this account offers. Now onto features and benefits. First, we'll talk about the features and benefits of the savings account, and then we'll talk about the checking account. So for the savings account, there's 2 that I want to call out. The first one is autosave. Very similar to what we see on the Ally account, you can set up a flow in which money hits an account and then you automatically have it distributed and saved into your savings account. And this is especially helpful for people who might just be inclined to spend what they see in an account. If this gets scuttled away into a savings account, you're less likely to spend it. The savings account also offers you savings buckets. So exact same as Ally, you can have a separate bucket for saving for college, saving for a home, saving for a car. To me, super helpful, so I don't just have a bunch of money jumbled in there and I have to think, okay, what exactly is supposed to go to what? Where do I add more? And by having buckets, it's so much easier to organize. Now onto the feature of the checking account, which again, you have to have this if you want to open that savings account. So the checking account has no minimum balance fee as well as no overdraft fees. There's also a feature once you get direct deposit set up to get paid 2 days early. With the checking account, you actually have the ability to earn cash back by swiping your debit card, which if I'm being honest, is not common at all, and it can be up to as high as 15% on select retailers. And the last feature and benefit to call out about this checking account is that it's also technically a high yield checking account, which is not common at all in the checking space. For checking accounts, my standard checking account, I think I get like 0.1% interest. And speaking of interest, the Sofi high yield savings plus checkings, pretty much any money in here is gonna be earning 4.6%. Is 4.6% the highest on this entire list? Absolutely not. But it is insane to have that. Folks, this account setup is punching so far above its weight class that I personally think it's probably the right account for the majority of people who aren't just yield hunting. And yield hunting is just looking for the highest yield wherever possible and then moving on. If you're looking for a daily driver type of account, this is one I would absolutely recommend. You have a sign-up bonus. You have 4.6% interest. If I kind of think about my personal flow, right now my Ally account is my main checking account. So money hits it and then it goes to my retirement accounts, my investment accounts, my savings accounts. But there's always kind of money sitting in there. That is earning interest at 0.1%. If instead Sofi, that money would be earning 4.65%. And again, I would still be moving it out to places like a brokerage or a retirement or a savings account. And if you guys would like to support my channel in any way, I actually have an affiliate link with some of these top card offers in the description box below, not just for Sofi, but all the accounts we have talked about and the next two we will talk about. Coming in at number 2, we have the Upgrade Premier Savings Account. Opening requirements, none that I could find. Features and benefits. This one is definitely not a feature heavy play. This is a high interest play. But the one thing that you can be assured at is you're not gonna pay any monthly or annual account fees. Now onto interest. This account pays a whopping 5.07%. However, there is a slight catch, and that is that this applies to only a balance greater than $1,000. So for anything under that, you're not gonna get the 5.07%. For anything over that, you will get the 5.07%. My comments and recommendations. If you have over $1,000, throw it in this account, get 5.07% interest, that's it, call it a day, you're good to go. However, if you want more interest, let's go talk about our number 1 savings account. In addition to, I'll give you all a bonus at the end of a way that beats all of these, but it takes a little bit more legwork. Number 1, we have the winner from last quarter, and that is gonna be the UFB Direct savings account. Opening requirement. No minimum deposit required. Features and benefits. Similar to the Upgrade Savings Account, there's not a whole ton of bells and whistles because this is an interest rate play. However, it's nice to know that there's no maintenance or service fee. Interest. The UFB Direct Savings Account will pay you 5.25% on all deposits. Insane. And you can even juice it with an additional 0.2% by opening up a companion checking account. However, that does take a little bit of work. So if you open a Freedom checking account, you will need a $100 monthly daily average for that to be fee-free. Next, you'll have to set up $5,000 in monthly direct deposits to get a 0.05% interest boost. To get another 0.1% interest boost, you need to have a minimum of $10,000 in the checking account per month on average. And to get the last 0.05% interest, you need to have at least 10 debit card transactions every single month. And if you can do all 3 of those things, you're not gonna earn 5.25%, you could earn 5.45% on a savings account with UFB Direct. Now, my verdict and recommendations, personally, I don't think I would go the route of the checking account just because it seems like a ton of work, and 10 debit card transactions is honestly a lot. For 0.5%, I don't really think that pencils out. However, if you do have $10,000 sitting around, you can set up the $5,000 direct deposit and you do use a debit card, which again, I still don't recommend, but for whatever reason, if you do, then this could be an easy boost. Of course, with every single account that we talk about, there is gonna be a catch. And the catch is, if you live in a state that charges state income tax, for example, I live in Massachusetts, the interest you earn, you're gonna have to pay state income tax on it. But there's actually a way that you can negate that. There's a way in which you can earn interest similar to how you earn interest from a high yield savings account, but you do not pay state income tax. And that is by leveraging T-bills, also known as treasury bonds. And a treasury bond is just simply an IOU from the government. You lend money to the government of the United States and they say, thank you, John, and we will give you 1%, 2%, 5%, whatever the interest rate is. And you know they're good for it because, well, it's the confidence in the word of the American government. If that were to falter, we'd be in a lot of trouble. The only issue though with T-bills is they kind of are annoying to buy. You can buy them direct, you can buy them through Treasury Direct, but it's kind of a pain. The way that I do it is I buy it on the secondary market. In the secondary market are folks who have already bought them and they want to exit a position, but no worries, you're still going to be able to scoop up some really good interest yield. So the example I can walk you through is how I do it through Charles Schwab. So I log into the Charles Schwab website, I go up top and I hit the research tab and I go into the bond section. And then once you go into the bond section, you can see all of the interest yield for the various T-bills. You can buy bonds for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, all the way up to tens of years. And the thing I really like about bonds, besides the fact that there is no income tax that you have to pay to the state on the interest, it's the fact that you're locking the money up for 3, 6, 9 months. Sometimes it's better to just kind of have that locked away so that you don't do anything rash. Now, if you wanted to sell it, you certainly can. You can take it and sell it on the secondary market just like you bought it on the secondary market, but that might end up costing you. And we can see here from this chart that I pulled today as of the filming of this video, a 3-month T-bill will pay an annualized interest of 5.36%. My recommendation, if you're willing to put in the effort, T-bills are definitely the way to go, but I also understand that because it's not as liquid and you might want to move money around, that you might just want to go directly for a high yield savings account. Regardless of what you do, folks, please do not keep money stashed under a mattress, stashed in a checking account earning no interest. There is interest to be had, there is free money to be had, get after it. And if you'd like to support my channel in any way, you can feel free to check out any of my top affiliate offers in the description box below. And as always, if you have questions, drop them there as well, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace!